Hello there guys, welcome back to another real analysis video. We're looking at a very important, I would say underrated result in real analysis, and that is the so-called shift invariance property that we're going to look at right now. Let's also just remind ourselves what the definition of convergence is. It's written over here so we can see that. Now let's just state the shift invariance property. That is that for a sequence an and it's real valued and we're supposing that it is convergent, then we're saying for all k in the natural numbers, the limit as n approaches infinity of an is equal to the limit as n approaches infinity of an plus k. So we'll start off by proving it, and then I'll do a quick example just so we can see exactly how it works in practice after that. Let's go straight into it. So we'll start the proof by just saying let epsilon be greater than 0, which is a standard thing to do, and we'll just define the limit to be alpha. We know it's a convergent sequence because we've already supposed that it is, so we just call it alpha just for simplicity so we can refer back to it. Now, really, all the proof is just recalling the definition of what it means for this to converge, which I've written up here already, so I'm going to write it again. There exists an n in the natural numbers such that for all lowercase n greater than or equal to this capital N, we do indeed have that an minus alpha is less than epsilon. Okay, so for every natural number bigger than or equal to this capital N, the distance between that number term and alpha is less than epsilon. Now, if we notice one thing, and that is that if n is greater than or equal to capital N, then n plus k is greater than or equal to capital N as well. Hence, that n plus k, that new natural number, fits perfectly into the definition. So we're able to say the distance between a sub n plus k and alpha is less than epsilon. So there exists an n in the natural numbers such that for all n greater than or equal to capital N, we do indeed have that the distance between the n plus kth term and alpha is less than epsilon, which proves that it converges, that the sequence a sub n plus k converges to the same limit alpha. Awesome, so that concludes that proof. Now let me just show you a quick example of how you could use this. Okay guys, so here's a question. Let an be a convergent sequence and bn be a sequence defined by bn equals an plus 1 minus an for all n in the natural numbers. The question is to find the limit as n approaches infinity of bn. Now this is a very straightforward application of what we've just done. So we can say that the limit as n approaches infinity of bn is of course just equal to the limit as n approaches infinity of an plus 1 minus an. Using the arithmetic properties of limits, so this is the sum rule that I'm using, link in description to a little bit of elaboration on that, we're able to write this as the limit as n goes to infinity of an plus 1 close bracket minus the limit as n approaches infinity of just an. So I'm able to split these limits up. The reason I'm allowed to do this, by the way, is because we're told that an is convergent, and remember that the limit as n goes to infinity of an plus 1 is actually just the same as the limit as n goes to infinity of an, meaning that they must both be convergent, so we're allowed to do that. And of course, they're equal to the same limit. So whatever they're equal to, let's call it alpha. It's alpha minus alpha. So this is going to be equal to 0, which shouldn't be a terrible surprise. Anyway, hopefully that made sense, guys. Please do leave a like if you enjoyed the video. This is a very important result that's going to come up a few more times, so make sure you're very happy with it. If I scroll back up, you can see the proof. The proof is very straightforward in my opinion. It's very quick, very easy. Very intuitive, but please do let me know if you have any questions about it in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.